showing it off there on the offensive rebound.
Gafford and Lively's had an impact. Tatum goes backdoor. Another nice pass, this one from Jaylen Brown.
That looked like a basic entry pass and a layup, but it was actually one of the smartest, most surgical in-game counters I've ever seen. And to appreciate why, we need to go back to the earlier games in Boston, where the Celtics had a ton of success stretching out the Mavs shot-blocking centers by spacing to the three-point line and sticking a guard on the baseline so a smaller player would have to protect the rim. Jason Kidd's answer to this in Game 3 was to keep their center low, even if it meant guarding a smaller player like Jrue Holiday in isolation. So this is essentially a one-man zone, where the center is roaming off his man in the corner toward the ball side, and then someone else takes Boston's center, and this really packs the paint against the Celtics' drives. Here it is again, where Al Horford spaces above the arc. Gafford now matches up with the corner and roams over to help Luka, and they force the kick out instead of something at the rim. And they're trying to avoid situations where their shot blocker is stuck on the outside while Boston assaults the basket against smaller players. Here it is executed perfectly, where Gafford doesn't match up with Horford, but instead Luka picks him up so Gafford can get to the rim, and he saves a Jason Tatum layup, and it's a transition stop. And the Celtics weren't totally dialed in attacking this coverage. Gafford moves over to the ball side, Boston center Xavier Tillman is uncovered, but Tatum isn't ready to play off him, and they end up with an awkward moving screen. And here, Jaylen Brown is trying to screen Derrick Lively, but remember, Lively's staying low, so this action doesn't stress the Dallas defense in any way. Lively roams over to the ball side, making it harder for Tatum to drive, and he ends up with a tough late clock shot instead. So look what the Celtics do to start the third quarter. They have Jrue Holiday act like he's spacing to the far corner, but he's really pulling Gafford to the near side of the floor, so he's out of the paint or has to deal with Jrue in isolation. And this play sort of goes nowhere and is well defended, but it still set the tone for the rest of the quarter. Because the next time down, they're attacking Gafford again, waiting for him to roam to the strong side before instantly swinging it back to the weak side. That puts the Mavs defense in the blender, and Jrue ends up with a layup. And this is yet another brilliant Holiday cut, where instead of floating back out behind the line, he suddenly darts into all this open space, and that's a great pass by Derrick White. This time the Celtics attack from the opposite side. Everyone is spacing behind the arc. Holiday's in the corner. They wait for Gafford to roam over to the strong side, and again quickly reverse it, but oh no, it's a Tatum layup. And this is a direct assault on the one-man zone, because he's now freaked out about recovering to Holiday in the corner, but Tatum's looking for the inside seal here because Boston's spacing pulls the other three Mavs out of the lane, and that's truly basketball chess. This was probably a halftime call out because they had this exact same setup in the first half, only Jaylen wasn't looking for the quick reversal, and he wasn't looking for Tatum on that inside seal, and so Gafford was able to recover and get a much better contest on this drive. But in the third, they're just getting going. It's the exact same setup again, only Jrue's on the ball and White's in the far corner. Now Gafford is thinking about that entry to Tatum, and so Brown suddenly can attack Kyrie one-on-one without a shot blocker in the lane, and it's a lot easier. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, so they go to it again. Now Luka's thinking, don't give up that inside seal, but that leaves Holiday for a warm-up shot. And the next time down, they're in transition, so the setup is a little bit different, but they can just fall back on hunting Doncic. He's thinking about navigating the handoff, but the ball's long gone, and Tatum makes a nice little cut into empty space, and that's an excellent decision from Brown and a 5-point lead. After a Dallas timeout, they throw out a full-on 2-3 zone. Tatum blows by Luka, Washington has no idea that Brown cut, and we're back in Dunk City. And watch how in sync the Celtics are attacking this. White tells Brown to lift up to set the screen. Horford's directing traffic. Tatum tells White to go to the top. White tells Tatum to take the corner position. Brown ends up with the inside seal on the screen. Lively has to then help. So Tatum thinks about the cut, but spotting up is actually better. And Brown's a little late with that pass, but it's another great shot. So everyone's on the same page with this counter strategy. Horford wants the ball to change sides, but Lively is already retreating, so Jrue just feeds the post. Then Tatum waits to see where Lively goes, and he can spray it out, and Lively can't run faster than the ball. Boston has done well with this side-to-side action throughout the series, but they changed sides incredibly well after halftime of this game. And in the fourth quarter, it came full circle, with everyone communicating to set up the spacing. They change sides and Lively recovers out to Tatum, but Brown now has a mismatch in the post and drills another one. And this is the exact same counter we saw get Tatum a layup to start the third, only this time Jalen sets the screen and seals inside. He's actually looking for the pass now. White doesn't see it, but it's an easy pass for Tatum, and Brown loves that shot. Jalen was cooking during this stretch to help extend the Boston lead with that long jumper stretching it out to 10, and then he pulled Gafford out in a cross match to set up a rare Tillman 3. And at the end of the quarter, the Mavs tried going small. Luka provides no resistance on the pick and roll, and then Brown can detonate on the little guys. To finish this run, the Celtics go to an Iverson cut for White. Luka stays with it. So now they want to change sides and stretch out the big man. Tatum gets Lively switched onto him, and this time JT can drive and set up Brown for the corner 3. And the next time down, it's the same play, only White feels Luka automatically running to the other side, changes his route, and all of a sudden it's a 21-point lead. And White not only adjusted, but Horford spotted it and screened his own man to make that shot easier. And man, Boston's just an incredibly smart, well-coached team with high IQ veterans. Take this sneaky Jrue Holiday cut behind Lively, and the pass was off, or that's probably a layup. But then look at the incredible spacing and ball movement here, where Jrue is there again and no-looks it to an open Horford, and then he comes out of the crowd to grab it and finish the play. Here's one in the first where they're hunting Doncic. Gafford switches into the action instead, so Horford immediately knows to set another screen to force Luka into the pick and roll, and meanwhile Sam Hauser sees his man turn his head, so he sprints to the now vacant corner, and that is just basketball perfection. Sometimes with Boston, it's a little thing, like Tatum spotting Luka flat-footed and looking the other way, so a basic pass is an easy 3. And when the game was tight at the end, White realized Kyrie wasn't looking at the ball, slipped this pass into Tatum, who finishes with a dunk. And wouldn't you know it, this is the same move they started the half with, where Jrue drags the center across the court to the near side, so the shot blocker's not in the paint to help on Tatum. Boston might even be smarter defensively. Brown misses on the steal, and Pritchard immediately peels over to stop Luka's drive. White sprints around the screen to take away the corner. Brown switches back to the top, and there's no easy shot despite a breakdown. And check out this peel switch where Kyrie beats White, but Jrue sees it and jumps right in front while White seamlessly switches to the corner, killing any Dallas advantage. And this one might even be better. Holiday refuses to be screened. When they try to reset the play, Hauser tips it into the backcourt, but he can't quite come up with it. So Brown instantly takes Kyrie while Hauser peels off to his man, and then he's in perfect position to help on the drive, and it's another dead trip for Dallas. Boston's even been hyper-disciplined about staying down on Doncic's up fakes throughout the series, and it's one of the reasons he hasn't really punished Hauser and Pritchard on these switches. So, thanks to some wonderful coaching from Joe Mazzulla, an amazing in-game adjustment to puncture Dallas's big defensive move, and the great decision-making of all these veteran players, the Boston Celtics have taken a commanding 3-0 lead in the NBA Finals and are now one game away from the title. To support this channel, check out patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. We have a Discord community, extra content, and stats that we use to research these videos and the Thinking Basketball podcast. Thanks, as always, for watching this one all the way through. And of course, I hope you're having a great day.